Hello, gorgeous. Thank you for joining us today. You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and this is Hello, Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. I thought I would take the opportunity today to share with all of you my own story. So, I am a motivational and inspirational speaker, an award winning author, two books that we've written on beauty, cancer, and the amazing scope of the human spirit. I'm a dynamic communicator with an incredible story of faith, hope, and service to others. And I am the founder of Hello Gorgeous of Hope Incorporated, a nonprofit organization that provides red carpet experiences for women battling cancer across the United States. I've been a hairdresser and a business owner, a national educator for more than 30 years. And through my many experiences in the for-profit and the nonprofit business worlds, I've become a businesswoman, a fundraiser, event planner, educator, public speaker, author, and the face of Hello Gorgeous. I've received a Mom's Choice Award for my first book, Hello Gorgeous, A Journey of Faith, Love, and Hope. And I've received the 2011 Spirit of Woman Award and the American Cancer Society 2014 Coaches versus Cancer Inspirational Award. And I recently received the prestigious George H.W. Bush Points of Light Award. So I wanted to take some time today to give you an insight into how I got to where I am today. Because most people don't just start where they are, they actually have a journey that they've taken to get to this point. And so I wanted to share that journey with you. I graduated from high school. And when I graduated from high school, I wanted to go to law school. And I started working at a tanning hair salon. And the girls at the salon encouraged me to go to beauty school, because they said that it would give an opportunity for me to work my way through law school by cutting hair. And I would never have to work at a fast food place, which was very appealing to me. I thought it was a good idea, so I enrolled in beauty school and I never looked back. Needless to say, I never made it to law school, but I did spend 30 years in the beauty industry. About 10 years after I graduated from beauty school, my dream was to open a salon. And I was able to achieve that dream. And our first salon, we started with just 2 hair stations, and it was more of a tanning salon. So we had 4 tanning beds. And when we started to talk about the name of the salon, during my years as an educator, I had an opportunity to visit a salon in Southern Illinois, and the name of the salon was called Shavu. So I was married at the time, and I had this conversation with my husband about opening a salon. And he said to me, I have the perfect name for our salon. We should call it Hello Gorgeous. And I said to him, that's the stupidest name I've ever heard. And he said, no, it'll be really great, because every time you answer the phone, you get to say, hello, gorgeous, and it'll make people smile on the other end. And I told him that it was stupid and that we weren't doing it. And I told him about the salon that I had visited and that the name of the salon was called Shavu and that that's what we were doing. So we owned and operated Shavu for 10 years. We started, as I said, with 2 shampoo bowls and 4 tanning beds, and the business evolved through the 10 years that we owned it. But part of the evolution came from the fact that there was something that was missing on the inside of me, and I didn't know what it was. So I thought that it was the business, that there was something that was missing from that. And so I needed to keep making it bigger and better, and that would fulfill that missing piece of me. So every year, just after the first of the year, we would remodel the salon. And we would go from 2 hair stations to 4 hair stations, and we kept the tanning beds. And one by one, we eliminated the tanning beds, and we would add a nail area and an aesthetics area. And then by the end of it, we just pulled all of the aesthetics and the nail areas out, and we just had the hair stations. And after all of the remodeling and all the transformation that this little 1,000 square foot salon went through, there was still something that was missing. And so I'd said to Mike, we would have this conversation on a regular basis. And I said, this just isn't cutting it. Maybe we need to be bigger. Maybe this space isn't right for us anymore. So we moved, and we went from 1,000 square feet to 3,000 square feet. And we went from 4 stylists to 17 stylists. And we had a massage therapist and a receptionist. And it was wonderful. And I loved the buzz that you would get in the middle of the afternoon. About 3 o'clock, all the hair stations were full. And there was just something about the energy in the salon during that time that I absolutely loved. But it still didn't fill this emptiness that I had in my heart. That's the only way that I can describe it, that it was an emptiness. So Mike and I would talk about this on a regular basis. And I said, well, if it's not the salon, maybe it's me. So I started training at all of these places. And I went to Hair Color USA in Miami, and I trained at Pivot Point in Chicago. And my big dream was to study at Vidal Sassoon in London. So I went to Vidal Sassoon in London and I spent a week there, and it was wonderful, but it still didn't fill this emptiness that I had. Mike and I were in a car traveling home from a location about 3 hours south of us, and we were having this discussion. And I was telling him, there's just something more that we should be doing. I know there's something more out there for us to be doing, but I don't know what it is. And we kept talking about it. And all of a sudden it fell on my heart. And I said, I know what we need to do, Mike. We need to have a mobile day spa that caters to cancer patients. It needs to be this big, beautiful, elegant palace on wheels that will pull up just a few feet from her doorstep and make her feel like a queen for a day during a time where she doesn't feel very special. Well, I don't know if any of you out there are business owners, but people have a misconception about owning a business. They think that if you make $5,000 in a day, that you take that big wad of cash and you put it in your pocket and you live this luxurious lifestyle. And I can tell you firsthand, that couldn't be further from the truth. Just about the time that we would get a little bit of savings built up, the water heater would go out, or the furnace would stop working, or there was some new tax that our state decided to put on our payroll. And so we never seemed like we could get ahead. So I'm rolling this big dream out to my husband about how we need to have this big, beautiful palace on wheels and we'll take care of cancer patients. And he was all about it. He would do anything to get us out of the salon business until I told him we were going to do it for free. And I watched all the color run out of his face. And he looked at me and said, how are we going to do this? And I said, I don't know. I just know that this is what we're supposed to do. So my husband, being the most supportive man I had ever met, stopped at the nearest bookstore and bought me every book that he could find on free money for women and grant writing for dummies and grant writing for women. And when he got back in the car, I was so excited to tell him all about this big dream that I had laid out, and I watched his ears slam shut. He didn't want to hear anything about it, but I didn't care. I kept talking because I loved being able to talk to him in a car because he couldn't escape. So I kept telling him about how wonderful this would be and what a difference we could make. And he just didn't want anything to do with it. So we get to, our son was about 3 years old at the time, and he was asleep in the backseat of the car, and he woke up from his nap. And we got to an area where he could run and stretch his legs. And by this point in time, Mike was really ready to get out of the car. So we stopped and we got out of the car. And as we were walking into this play area, now 10 years had elapsed from the time we had opened the salon to this particular moment. And we were getting ready to walk in the door. And I looked at Mike and I said, this is supposed to be called Hello Gorgeous. I said, the salon was never supposed to be called Hello Gorgeous. This is supposed to be called Hello Gorgeous. Because when these women feel the way that they do, that's how they deserve to be greeted. Well, Mike didn't want to hear about it. And he didn't care what the name was called. We weren't doing it. And it took him, I would say, about 6 months or so to really be full on board. But I'll tell you what, once he did, he was such an amazing support, and we never looked back. Hello Gorgeous has been the most fulfilling thing that we have ever done in our lives. To be able to see these women transform in a 3-hour ambush makeover experience from someone that is bent over, that looks like she's going to throw up because she probably has because of her chemotherapy and radiation treatment, and transform in this 3-hour period of time to someone that looks like she could walk on a catwalk in New York City is absolutely amazing. So our job after that was to acquire our first mobile day spa. So we worked to see how we could get our first mobile day spa. Now, I'm a big one for modeling. I don't feel that you have to reinvent the wheel. I think there's already somebody out there that can do, or that can help you do what you're doing because they've already done it. So starting a business isn't easy, and starting a nonprofit isn't any easier, but starting a national nonprofit, something that you want to take all over the country, is very difficult. So I needed to find somebody to talk to that had already done this. And we had the opportunity to talk to a gentleman by the name of Millard Fuller. And Millard Fuller was the gentleman that started Habitat for Humanity. And I remember we had about a 45-minute phone conversation with him. And I was talking to him and laying out this big dream. This is what we want to do, and this is where we want to go. And I want this big, huge, elegant palace on wheels. And my question to Millard Fuller was, well, how much money do I need in the bank? How much money do I need to have in order to start this big dream? And he said to me in his Southern accent, and I'll never forget the words he said, Kim, you'd be really silly to start without $1. And he said, these women don't care where they have these services done. They just need to have the services done. You could do them in an alley over a trash can. It doesn't matter. They just need to feel pampered. So after talking with Millard Fuller, we decided that we were going to start doing Hello Gorgeous makeovers in the salon that I had owned. But I had sold the salon. So I wasn't sure whether the new owner would be on board with us doing these makeovers. But we did talk to him, and he was willing to do it. So for about 3 years, we did makeovers in the salon on Fridays. The women would come in, we'd have a red carpet rolled out, we would greet her with a great big hello gorgeous. She got spa services done, treated from head to toe, and she was sent on her way. But we knew that we really needed to stop doing them in the salon, and we wanted to work toward our mobile day spa. So in 2009, we acquired our first mobile day spa. It was a 1995 Holiday Rambler. And we knew that it was the right mobile day spa for us, or that was the right RV to have transport into the mobile day spa, because the colors inside were peach and teal, which were the exact colors of our wedding. And so we took that mobile day spa, or took the RV and had it transformed. They pulled everything out of it and built a salon inside. They added a shampoo bowl and a manicure station. We had a styling station where the bed used to be, and it was awesome. We loved being able to do these surprise makeovers. And the reason that the mobile day spa was so important to me was because it ramped up the element of surprise, right? Who thinks that you're going to go to a polo match and get a makeover? Who thinks that you're going to go to a baseball game and get a makeover? But we were self-contained. So everything I needed was inside that mobile day spa. And it just gave us an opportunity to surprise women in a place where they didn't think that they would be surprised. So we decided that people in our area really appreciated what we were doing for our community, but we needed to kind of expand our audience. So we decided to grab our 9-year-old son and the mobile day spa and take a 6-week tour. And we went throughout the state of Indiana. We teamed up with Simon Properties, and we started doing these makeovers at malls. They were all prearranged, but we would kidnap a woman out of Bath and Body Works. It might be out of Applebee's, J.C. Penney's. We would go in, we would find her, we would present her with a big bouquet of flowers, greet her with a great big hello gorgeous, and then we would escort her out into the parking lot and do her makeover, and then bring her back inside and do a big reveal. And it was awesome for 6 weeks. But it was on that tour that Mike and I realized that there's no way that we could get to everybody that needed to be done. The statistics as of 2017 is that more than 800,000 women were diagnosed with cancer, and that didn't include the women that were diagnosed the year before that continued to go through treatment. So back then, when we were taking the tour, we knew that there was no way, no matter how much passion that we had, that we could get to all the women that needed help. So we started a salon affiliate program. I developed a program that would educate the stylists on what they needed to do for a woman that was battling cancer, that had a compromised immune system, and that we could keep her safe during that time. And then the team of these salons would get to feel what I got to feel on a regular basis. And that's what I felt was most important. Had I kept this to myself, I would be selfish. These stylists needed the opportunity to feel the way that I got to feel during that 3-hour period of time, where you take this broken woman and you build her up so far that you feel like you've given her wings and that she could fly out the door. So once we started the salon affiliate program, we started certifying salons. And to date, as of the recording of this particular radio show, we have 33 affiliates in 15 states. We were so glad that we were able to introduce this to people. We were glad that we had that vehicle, because the vehicle that got us there, the mobile day spa, was starting to show signs of wear. Even though she only had about 35,000 miles on her, she was really starting to show the experience that she had. The air conditioning had gone out. We were having problems with the heater and the electrical system. So we were reached out to a few places. We actually live near the RV capital of the world, and we were hoping that somebody could help us. But it was a fluke that someone had gotten on my LinkedIn page, and they saw our mobile day spa and reached out to us and said, hey, I want to know if you guys are still in business. So we called this gentleman back. Yep, we're still in business. He said, I see that you have an RV. How is she? And when my husband answered the phone, he said, she's experienced. And the gentleman on the other end said, well, I happen to be the plant manager at Monaco Coach, and I'd like to see if I could help you out. We said, great. So we sent him all the paperwork that he needed. Didn't hear anything. Through that next year, our mobile day spa got worse. So we reached out to this gentleman again. And the day after we reached out to him, it was announced that Monaco Coach, the place that he worked, was going out of business. So I looked at Mike and I said, well, it looks like we're going to have to start over at square one. The next day, Matt, the gentleman from Monaco Coach, reached out to us and said, I've been thinking about you guys. Your timing couldn't be any better. When can I come and see the mobile day spa? So we took him out the next day and we showed him the mobile day spa. And as we're walking there, now let me preface this by saying that I'd always had a dream and I talked about this forever. And I thought, how cool would it be if we were able to go to an RV manufacturing plant and we were able to kidnap a woman off of the line that was battling cancer, do a makeover on her. If the RV plant took my mobile day spa, did a complete makeover on it, and then we could do a reveal on the woman, and then they could do a reveal on my mobile day spa. So Matt and his crew came out, took a look at the mobile day spa. They were on the roof, underneath, all over. And he took me inside and he says, what do you think? What's your vision? And I said, my vision isn't really for the vehicle. It's more for the project. And I said, I really want this to be a palace on wheels. And I said, I really don't care what it looks like. It just needs to be elegant. But there's two things that I would prefer you not touch. One of them was this really cool hydraulic lift that had a mirror on it. If you push the button, this huge mirror went up. And when you push the button again, the mirror went down. And on the front of the bus, it said, look what the Lord has done. I said, other than that, I don't care what you do. But if I had my druthers, I would love to have 2 slide outs and a flat screen TV. And he said, I can't put slide outs in this vehicle. And I said, I understand, but you wanted to know my dream. And he said, okay, I get it. So we go outside and he said, what about the outside? What are you thinking for the outside? And I said, well, Elizabeth Arden has her red door. I think I need a red bus. So they stood there for a long time and we chatted and talked and they asked when I needed it. I didn't need the bus for till another 6 weeks. So they asked if they could take it that day. And they did. And they drove off with my mobile day spa, not making any promises at all. So we set a date for July, which was probably about 4 weeks. And guess what? They had a woman battling cancer that we had an opportunity to do a makeover on. So it was just like my dream came true. We drove a limo onto the production floor at Monaco Coach, kidnapped a woman battling, put her in a limousine, took her back to a salon in Elkhart, Indiana, did a makeover on her. And when we came back, we did a big reveal to a crowd of 500 of this amazing woman and her before and after picture up on this big screen. And then the men that kidnapped my bus were going to do a makeover, and they did a makeover on it, and they were going to do a reveal on this. So the crowd that was there gave a great big hello gorgeous, and they pulled back the curtain, and there sits my new red bus. And I couldn't believe my eyes. It was absolutely amazing. And if you want to see a video of this, if you go to just go to YouTube. And if you search Monaco Coach and Hello Gorgeous, you can see this whole thing unfold. So I've got this new, they literally tore my old bus all the way down to the chassis. They rebuilt it, new walls, new ceiling, new floors, new air conditioner, and they're rushing me through this. And you got to get back on stage. You got to get back on stage. And I'm like, I want to see what this looks like. You can see it later. Get back on stage. So I go back on stage in front of an audience of 500. And Matt, the gentleman that we originally first spoke with, he said to me, as you can see, we named this mobile day spa Hope, because we have to believe that hope is what you give to these women. But I don't believe that it's faith that got you here. I believe that it's faith. And I think it's faith that you give to these women as well. And as a matter of fact, we'd like to introduce you to faith. And in rolls this $250,000 vehicle with 4 slide outs and 4 flat screens and a stackable washer and dryer. And it was exactly the palace on wheels that I had always dreamt of. And it was absolutely, positively amazing. They knew that I wanted to take this from coast to coast, and that vehicle was built to go coast to coast. 2 years later, I stepped out from behind the chair. So this whole entire time that I had been working on Hello Gorgeous, I had also maintained my clientele behind the chair. But we decided it was time for both of us to be working full time with Hello Gorgeous. We now had 2 mobile day spas. We had a very busy affiliate program. We were traveling all over the country to certify these salons so that they could experience what we were experiencing. And it was just very difficult to maintain my business at the salon as well as the nonprofit organization. So we decided that it was time for me to step out from behind the chair, which was a very big deal. That's all I had done for 30 years was cut hair. And I'm sure that I changed lives then too. But a lot of these relationships that I had at the salon level were people that I had cut their hair for 25, 30 years. Many of them were some of my first clients coming right out of beauty school. So it was a difficult decision that we needed to do, but it was also a huge step in faith for us. See, Michael was the only one that was being paid at this point in time. So we needed to give up my salary for both of us to be able to work. The money that I made standing behind the chair is what supported our family. But we did it knowing that God would take care of everything. This was his dream. We just needed to do what he asked us to do. So I stepped out from behind the chair, and Michael and I worked on Hello Gorgeous full time, continuing to build the affiliate program, make partnerships with manufacturers and distributors to make sure that these women had all of the products that they needed when they were getting these makeovers done. And then our world kind of turned upside down. So in March of 2017, we attended the IBS New York show in New York City. We had a couple of individuals that were gracious enough to drive our mobile day spa to New York City. And it's quite the showpiece. It had an image of a bald woman looking into a mirror where she had a wig on and she had a full face makeup. And you can't miss it especially when it's sitting on a show floor. So we were at the Jacob Javits Center and we worked that show for 3 days. And it was amazing, except New York City got a blizzard and it shut the city down. And they actually cut the show short by a day, but there wasn't anything we could do because we were driving a vehicle. At least the couple that was driving, we were flying out. But so to see a skier in Times Square was quite a feat. But the mobile day spa, we made a big impact on people. We made a ton of connections from manufacturers to distributors to salons that wanted to participate in our program. And the Pam and Dale, who were driving the bus, when they got the all clear, they were able to drive the bus home. And it was amazing. We got the bus home, and 2 days later, she caught fire. It was a freak electrical fire. Something interesting to see your dream go up in smoke. And then 2 months later, I lost my best friend and my husband, Michael, to septic shock. So within the course of about 2 months, we had 2 huge devastating blows. And it's been really difficult to continue on. But during some of Mike's very difficult times, he was in and out of lucidness some of his last days. And he grabbed a hold of my hands and he said to me, "You have to keep going. You have to keep going." And I said, okay, not knowing exactly what it was that I had to keep going, but I did it and we are still here. And as I record this episode, as I said, we have 33 salon affiliates in 15 states. And our goal is to continue because I need to keep his legacy on. He loved Hello Gorgeous, and there are many women that need the service that we provide. If you have any questions or comments about today's episode, or you want to know more about Hello Gorgeous, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website, www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.
Another beautiful day, walking in the sunshine, spending the time with you. Last night we had a good time, dancing in the moonlight and loving the night away. I can't imagine what it'd be like. I can't imagine what it'd be like. I can't imagine what it'd be like without you. I can't imagine that.